Time to get you caught up in the world of motorsports, brought to you by Wild Elephant Sparkling Tea. And we're going to crack open a cold one as we do each and every Monday morning. Remember, elephanttea.com is where you go to get the product, Wild Elephant Sparkling Tea. One of the sponsors of Zubilation this past weekend for the Blank Park Zoo. Thank you, Ron, and the whole gang over there for doing that. But remember, you buy Elephant Tea, you sip the tea, you save wild elephants. How cool is that? A portion of the proceeds go back to Wild Elephant Conservation. All right, speaking of Wild Elephant Racing Team is what we want to talk about right now. They're taking a couple of weeks off. We give you an update as to how they're doing each and every week as they are preparing for their next race on October the 30th over at Laguna Seca Raceway. We have some video here of them just practicing a little bit. They're at Buttonwillow Raceway, and that is over in California. That is the World of Outlaws. That's coming up here in just a little bit. But I want to shift gears. Okay, we're going to shift gears here. We'll just go on over. This is the World of Outlaws event that happened over at Williams Grove Speedway in Pennsylvania. What you see going to happen here in just a little bit, you'll see Donnie Schatz taking the lead here. Now, Donnie hasn't had a most outstanding year, according to his own sayings, but he was managed to get into the lead right toward the end of this national event over at Williams Grove and had a really good run. Last lap, there's a very familiar guy that's going to challenge him for the lead, and that familiar guy is the 57. That is Kyle Larson as he makes a run on the outside final corner, bounces off the wall, but Donnie Schatz hangs on and he wins the 40-lap event. And Donnie Schatz, of course, just took home $75,000. Logan Schuchart over on the left-hand side there. There's Kyle Larson on the right, and Schatz right smack dab in the middle, and that's $75,000 check. And here is what we have, all the rest of the results there. You see Sheldon Haudenschild finishing in 5th place there. Now, David Gravel, he won a night before this race, too. It looked like he was going to be in the driver's seat for a while. Now, the tradition was something that was happening down in Corning. I want to make sure we give you the results of the tradition. This is just one of the biggest events down in that area. Happened on Friday and Saturday. We'll just run on through the compacts, and Tyler taking home actually taking home the trophy both on Friday and Saturday, so congratulations to him. Hobby Stock Division, they also ran down there. Jason was able to manage the big trophy for the Hobby Stock Division for the tradition. Also, Cam Reimers, you know him. You've seen him on this program. We interviewed him several years ago. He wins in the B-Mods of all things. Look at that. Randy Havlick from Ankeny, he was also running. He ended up finishing in 7th at the tradition. This is one of the biggest events in Iowa toward the end of the year. Stock Car Division, as we take a look here and let you see who is running there as we take a peek down there. Reitzler from Grinnell, he finished 3rd in this event. Elijah wins the event. Congratulations to him. And then in the modified division, take a look at the mods, and Jesse Dennis, again, how about this? A hometown guy wins over in Corning. Congratulations to everybody there. Shryock, he finishes in 3rd place in this event, so good job out of him as well. Big race. Now, something else that was going on is a USRA Nationals. This was a 3-day event over at the Hamilton County Speedway, and this is up in Webster City. We'll take a look at the results from the Hamilton County Speedway as Dustin wins from Sioux Falls. Now, look at all the Sioux Falls guys that you're going to see here popping up here in the next little bit. So there's your hobby stock winner. Now we take a look at the B-Mods and see who did well in the B-Mods. You see Chris Jackson wins there, so congratulations to him. Again, great representation from all around the Midwest in this event up in Webster City. Now, the Stock Car Division, Kyle ends up taking home the big trophy. That was really cool, so congratulations to him. But look at, there's Pat Graham from Ankeny. He finishes in 4th. And then last year's Carl Chevrolet Dirt Truck Series champion, Miles McHale from Fort Dodge, he finishes in 5th place in the Stock Car Division. So well done, well represented. And in the modifieds, we'll take a look here and see how things went. Lucas Schott wins from Minnesota, wins that event there. But look at this. Minnesota guy wins. 2nd place was a guy from New Mexico. 3rd place was a guy from Texas, and he's a happy dude because he's from Happy, Texas. That is great representation for an amazing event. All right, time now to take a look and see what happened in the world of NASCAR. Now, they race a couple of different times. They were racing at Talladega Super Speedway, the biggest super speedway on the circuit here, and first-time winner. He survived the melee, which always unfolds at Talladega. Rafael Lessard, he wins at Talladega. That is his very first ever win, so congratulations. Now, later in that afternoon, they ran the Xfinity Series, and Justin Haley did it again in the Xfinity Series. Now, the thing that was really cool about this is how well Des Moines' Michael Annett ran. He ended up crossing the finish line second, but then did not pass post-race inspection and was relegated back to the end of the longest line, as they say. Now, this is the finish of the Cup race yesterday at Talladega. That is after the third overtime. They tried it 3 different times. That closest picture to you, man, do we feel for this guy. That is Matt DiBenedetto. He has finished second so many times, and last year at Bristol, he finished second to that same guy. Denny Hamlin survives all that. Look, it looks like a racehorse in Victory Lane with that wreath around his neck. That is his 44th win in the Cup Series, which ties him with Bill Elliott, who was and is his racing hero. And that's the reason he's number 11, because when he became a fan of Bill Elliott, he was racing the number 11 for Junior Johnson at that time. There's a little added bonus for you there. Erik Jones ended up finishing in second place. They're going over to Charlotte to the road course next week. Now, the IndyCars, they ran a doubleheader this weekend, too, this time at Indianapolis. This is Friday's winner in the Harvest Grand Prix race number 1, Joseph Newgarden, guy that you met here on the program just a couple of months ago. He ends up winning there. And then take a look at this. Will Power wins the second race. This race ran on Saturday, again, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, there's one thing we do also need to mention, since we're mentioning the IndyCars, the elephant in the room. Iowa Speedway. The IndyCars have decided not to return to Iowa Speedway in 2021. We are awaiting the Xfinity and Truck Series as well as the ARCA Series to see if Iowa Speedway will be on their schedule for next year, but they will not be back. The IndyCars will not be back at Iowa Speedway in 2021. All right, folks, there you have it. That's your Monday morning race review. Cheers to you with Wild Elephant Sparkling Tea. We'll be right back.